In a bold and compassionate move that has stirred both hope and anticipation across Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama has unveiled a transformative vision for the country's military personnel, one that speaks not only to bricks and mortar, but to dignity, security, and the unwavering value of service to the nation. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. It was a Friday in Accra, a day etched into the lives of young men and women graduating from the Ghana Military Academy's regular career course 63. But beyond the ceremonial salutes and proud moments of accomplishment, a new future was announced, one that might very well become a defining legacy of President Mahama's administration. A future shaped by a simple yet powerful principle that those who serve and protect Ghana should never be left behind in substandard living conditions. With the crisp confidence of a leader deeply connected to the heartbeat of his nation, President Mahama declared his administration's intention to roll out a comprehensive home ownership scheme tailored specifically for members of the Ghana Armed Forces. This was not just another policy announcement. It was a promise, delivered with the kind of emotional clarity that resonates deeply among those who wear the uniform. Ghana's soldiers, officers, and service members, many of whom have lived through the realities of deteriorating and outdated barracks, were finally being told what they had long hoped to hear. Help is on the way. And this isn't a promise confined to press releases or ceremonial speeches. The president went on to explain that the new initiative will not only include the construction of brand new housing units within military barracks, but will also encompass the renovation and refurbishment of dilapidated and abandoned military accommodations that have for years symbolized neglect. From the northernmost regions of Ghana to the coastal barracks lining the Gulf of Guinea, this is a nationwide undertaking, one with the potential to reshape the living conditions of Ghana's military for generations. What made the announcement even more significant was the sincerity behind it. Mahama spoke plainly but powerfully when he said, "We'll address the most pressing concerns of your troops, starting with the need for affordable housing." These were not just rehearsed lines. They were the reflections of a leader who had clearly listened to the grievances echoing through the ranks. For too long, Ghanaian service members have quietly endured homes unfit for their sacrifices. They've raised families in overcrowded and crumbling structures, dealt with unreliable infrastructure, and felt the sting of being forgotten by the very country they pledged to defend. But now, a wave of hope is beginning to rise. Perhaps most revolutionary in the president's address was the introduction of the Armed Forces Home Ownership Scheme itself. This is not merely about better barracks, it's about home ownership, about giving soldiers the chance to invest in something more permanent and empowering. Imagine a young officer, freshly commissioned, knowing that years of loyal service could lead to the pride and stability of owning a home. This shift from temporary military housing to actual ownership is a bold departure from the norm, and it's one that could dramatically change the future for thousands. Housing is not just a physical necessity, it's emotional, it's psychological. And for those in the armed forces whose work often involves danger, stress, and long absences from loved ones, the promise of a decent home can be a critical pillar of morale. President Mahama acknowledged this with clarity and compassion. He said, "We believe that no service personnel should have to endure substandard living conditions." And with that, he struck a chord not only with the military community, but with the entire nation, which relies on these men and women to maintain peace and order. The scheme is expected to do more than just put roofs over heads. It is poised to elevate morale within the Ghana Armed Forces, creating a more motivated, stable, and committed core of personnel. It signals to soldiers that their sacrifices are not being taken for granted, that the nation recognizes their work and is ready to repay them not just with medals and titles, but with the basic dignity of a livable home. In a profession where retention often depends on intangible factors like pride, respect, and trust in leadership, this move could be a game changer. But the ripple effects don't stop at the barracks. The president's plan also carries significant economic potential. The construction and renovation projects involved will undoubtedly stimulate economic activity, create jobs, and support local industries, from cement manufacturers and bricklayers to electricians and interior finishers. The scheme could very well act as a powerful catalyst for Ghana's broader real estate sector, injecting new energy and opportunity into a market that stands to benefit from both public and private investments. While the full details of the program, including eligibility criteria, financing options, and rollout timelines, are still being finalized, the government's commitment to fast tracking the implementation has reassured many. Already, there is a growing sense of optimism among military personnel. Officers and soldiers across Ghana have begun to envision a future where the dream of owning a home isn't reserved for the wealthy or the privileged few, but becomes a reward for those who stand guard at our borders, who patrol our streets, and who fly our flags on international peacekeeping missions. And this optimism is more than justified. This initiative isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about reimagining what's possible. It's about recognizing that housing is foundational to a stronger, more resilient military. It's about giving families, military spouses, children, and relatives the comfort and safety they deserve. Because when a soldier knows that their family is secure, their focus sharpens, their performance improves, and their commitment deepens. What's particularly inspiring is that this bold initiative is not a one-off gesture, but appears to be part of a broader rethinking of military welfare in Ghana. It hints at a future where the military isn't just a fighting force, but a respected institution that attracts the best minds and the bravest hearts, not in spite of the hardships they might face, but because the country makes it worth it. It's a vision where choosing a military career also means choosing a dignified life, complete with the opportunity to build, to belong, and to thrive. The reaction to President Mahama's announcement has been overwhelmingly positive. For many service members, it's the first time in a long time that they feel truly seen and valued. It's a shift from the politics of neglect to the politics of empowerment. And if the implementation of this scheme lives up to its promise, it could set a precedent not just in Ghana, but across the region, where other nations may begin to view military welfare not as a luxury, but as a duty. This is not just about housing. It's about nation building. Because at the end of the day, a strong military requires more than weapons and uniforms. It requires care. It requires investment. It requires leaders who see beyond the battlefield to the homes, the families, and the lives that exist behind the scenes. President Mahama's home ownership scheme might just be the kind of legacy that reminds us all of what leadership looks like when it is driven by empathy, foresight, and a deep sense of national pride. As the foundations of these new homes begin to rise, so too will the hopes of Ghana's military personnel. And in the years to come, when young cadets take their oaths and veterans hang up their boots, they may look back on this moment not just as a turning point, but as the beginning of a new chapter, one where service to country also meant a chance to dream, to build, and to come home.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.